you know, when you hear about a crash like this and you start to try to do the permutations, if you will, in terms of what the impact is going to be on Boeing, just tell us how you even begin to do the math.
Yeah, you got to separate the short term from the long term, right? So when it comes to our longer term fundamental ratings and price targets, you got to kind of set that aside and leave that for when you think normalcy returns. When you start looking at how to bound outcomes in the short term, you know, you could really just be throwing stuff against the wall and guessing, and what you really need to do is, in our view, go back, look at history, see if you can find similar examples, see if you can put numbers around them. So we've attempted to do that. We've been requested by a lot of folks to go do that. The 787 example, which I know you guys recall, we went through in gory detail 6 years ago. That plane was grounded for 3 months by the FAA. The cost to fix those airplanes was $465,000. You know, so you can begin to start putting numbers around, you know, various buckets of cost. If you were to compensate customers of the 737 MAX for alternative lift over some period of time, you can look at lease rates and figure out what something like that may cost. You can look at legal settlements and begin to figure out, you know, what's the size of a legal settlement. The biggest one in history.
Carter,
is
put some numbers on those things for us, because even just this morning we saw Norwegian Air sending a bill to Boeing saying, look, we've had to take these aircraft out of service. Now, they did that voluntarily, but they're saying to Boeing, we want you to pay for it.
Yeah, look, there's a question of, you know, who pays for what if you voluntarily decide to keep that aircraft on the ground. But yeah, let's say, you know, those buckets, $150 million is the biggest legal settlement ever. Alternate lift for all of these customers, including ones that would be delayed, is probably another $500 million. And then you look at the cost of a fix based on what we saw on the 787, you get another couple $100 million. So all in, you're talking, you know, $1 billion of unrecoverable costs. The stock's down $30 billion cumulatively over 2 days. So the two don't really match. And what we're really pricing in here is, you know, reputational risk, uncertainty. I mean, people go to lots of different scenarios and permutations to say, well, you know, what do we think is going to happen next? You know, so we're really headline driven right now. But
is there any possibility this is a transformational moment in that it allows another competitor to emerge? Obviously, there's competitors in China that have never really been able to sell beyond China. What this does for Airbus elsewhere?
I don't think so. Honestly, anything that's bad for aviation safety is bad for every manufacturer of an airplane. Okay. So sometimes one manufacturer is unlucky and is caught in the crosshairs, if you will. But I guarantee you the guys at Airbus don't like seeing Boeing go through this. And, you know, right. I'm sure the reverse would be true.